Hey everyone, I'm Erin Saxton, that girl from Jersey. And with me is Ella, the teammate who is on every week. Jakki is joining us from Los Angeles. And this is Wendy Darling in from the Carlsbad, San Diego area. She's one of our besties here on the show. And so we just thought we would do a quick little girl chat. And welcome. Welcome to the girl chat.
I know, the best. Girl chat in my world is just the best.
Exactly.
Jakki, and that's not to say I don't like boy chat, but yeah.
Jakki, how are you doing today?
I'm good. And Wendy, Carlsbad is beautiful. I love that area.
I'm going to agree with you. I think it's wonderful, but it's been really fun being in New Jersey because if it has to be cold, at least it snowed while I was here. And that's been great. And I got to say, kind of looking forward to warming up tomorrow when I get back home.
Yes.
Wendy's been here for a week and it was like a squall here. I mean, you're here, right? I mean, Ella lives about 20 minutes from here. And we had this squall of, it was like a snow globe came in. And then we just got about 4 or 5 inches of snow the other day. So you're welcome.
You're right. I've been really happy. Every morning I wake up and it's like, oh yay, there's still snow on the ground. It's the only purpose of cold in my world.
But you're going to get back on that airplane tomorrow.
It's true.
Do you have any traditions when you get on airplanes? Like, is there anything you have to do?
Oh yeah.
What do you do?
I actually do only one thing other than pray that my kid karma hasn't kicked in.
What's kid karma?
I have a gift that if there are children, they seem to be sitting very close to me. And
they're kicking your chair?
And I've asked the heavens, let's complete that one. I love kids, just not on airplanes.
I love that.
Yeah. So I actually do one thing. Before we take off, I create an intention of safety for the plane, for our flight. And then I sit back and relax and enjoy the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my list is a little not as nice.
What is your hair? Does it include Clorox wipes?
No, I haven't. Well, before I get into it, how are you as traveler? Are you a good traveler?
I get irritable very quickly, so I have to make sure that my carry-on is loaded with snacks, or like snacks save lives. At least
They do. Totally.
Okay, I do that. I do.
You do.
I do. Not
you
that.
do before you get on the plane, hopefully, because then that's a long flight if you don't do.
Yeah, they have restrooms, so we're good. But I'm in your camp where I do take snacks, especially when you're flying from San Diego to New Jersey. That's a little bit longer flight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jakki, you travel a lot.
Yeah, I'm actually in Florida now with my parents. I fly back tonight. And so my 10-year-old, we have our airplane pillows, we have snacks, we're ready.
Yeah, it's
totally ready.
It's a whole thing. So I've been coming off of, anybody who follows our show on Instagram, what are we, that girl, Erin, that girl from Jersey. Mm-hmm. Please start following us and spread the word. Oh, and I'm wearing this t-shirt, not to be a dork, but we're going to start selling these on our website. Merch.
They're glittery and they're cute.
Merch. But so if you look at my post recently, the family and I went to Key West. Side note, if I post that I'm away with the whole family, I'm already back. Right?
I do that too.
And here's why. If I'm away and Rudy and Eric are with me, that means no one's home.
Right.
I'm not a dum-dum with this. Jury's still out on a bunch of other things. So a lot of people, and I get this, but a lot of people are tripped up by like, oh, wow, isn't Eric going to the game tonight? You're in Key West. And I'm like, okay, I love that everyone believes me. Sometimes you post because that's when you can do it. So when I came home on January 3rd at night. I posted the next day saying happy birthday to Eric, and they were all pictures of him from Key West.
You're beautiful.
Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. So if I'm with everybody and I'm posting, it means I've already done the trip. But now last weekend, I traveled to Indiana to a client and good friend of ours, Elena Chapman. There I posted, because I was with Della, who's not on our call today, and she's from South Carolina. And so I posted Indiana. Now that threw people off because that was real time, right? Because everybody else was home. So now,
So
because
it's safe. That's right.
yeah, so
I do the same
it's
thing.
my method of my madness. But what I noticed, and I've been traveling a lot with Barbara Walters, so I've been traveling for years and years and years, and I have a distinct pattern. I'm not a girl of habit of many things, but I've realized now I have a routine. Number one, I take a Dramamine. I don't necessarily always get seasick or airsick, but when I do, it's not pretty. And I'm very much my mother's daughter that the air quality and circulation has to be just right. I'm like the Goldilocks of airplane circulation. Like if it's too cold, I'm freezing. And if it's too hot, I feel like I'm trapped and I might become violent. Just sharing. So I just, right?
Really look forward to traveling with you.
It's a
one
good
day.
time. It's a good time. So the Dramamine helps me because if I get too hot and then I start overanalyzing how long of a flight this is, I get car sick and air sick and I don't follow through on it.
But you can't control the circulation on the airplane.
I know, right? And me not being able to control something is ridiculous. I need to control everything, Jakki.
You know, you're
That one, you gotta let go. But let me ask you this, doesn't the Dramamine, you come out of it, like I have to be able to function when I get off the plane.
Well, I'm Irish, and so I have this high tolerance of taking drugs and alcohol and being fine.
And we're not going to dip our toe into that conversation.
No, so what I'll do is I'll take a half. I've tested it, right? I've started with a quarter, and then I'm always good for gaining a quick 25 pounds. So as your weight increases, you can take more Dramamine, but it doesn't knock me out. Like I'm not using it as a sleep aid. I get car sick I should clarify this before people think I have a major problem. I get car sick when I'm driving and the sun's a certain way at rush hour and I'm like weaving in and out of traffic, or if somebody else is driving and it's too hot in the car, I get really car sick, like legit. So
Wendy, you're the expert. If you want to handle that, I think you should probably take that on because that's a lot.
Since when is being car sick psychosomatic?
But when the sun sets and you're like, that's, I mean, really, Erin?
All right, well, that's just number one of my routine. Number two, because I like to nap, so when I would travel with Barbara Walters, I would fall asleep, and this is pre-Dramamine. I would fall asleep before we took off. We would fly all the way over the country. We would land, and I would wake up in Los Angeles with wheels on the ground.
Ready to go.
Swear on Papa Amel, who's in heaven. So if I ever say I swear on Papa Amel, that just means for real. So the whole staff, Barbara included, would be like, I can't believe you're able to do that. And I want to say to her, it's because you're working me so hard. Like, I'm exhausted. But I didn't say that. I just was like, oh, I really like my sleep. I guess I'm still a teenager. Anyway, so because of that, I always miss the beverage cart. Always miss the beverage cart. I always miss it. And then I'm not one to ring the attendant button. That's not my style, right? So I just will get like a diet Snapple or a diet iced tea or something with the cap fountain, though my favorite drinks are fountains, but I can't, because then you can't put that in the slot, that bucket thing. So I put it there and I hold it there and I'll like wake up, sneak a sip, and then I put it down. So that's number two. So we have 1, Dramamine, 2, drink. Number 3, for whatever reason, I have to step on the plane with my right foot. And I blame my intern at The View for this. She and I were going somewhere. She was traveling with us and she's like, she stepped back and she's like, you got a quarter in your, she's from New Jersey, right? She's like, you got a quarter in your shoe? I go, why do I have to make a phone call? Now she's so young, she doesn't even know what that means, right? So I'm like, I know you're not using a payphone, so what's with the quarter? And it was wrapped in tin foil, right? And she's like, doesn't everyone have a quarter wrapped in tin foil in their shoe? And I was like,
gosh.
no. She's like, but you do step on the plane with your right foot, don't you? And I'm like, I guess I do now. Like, who's going to say, no, you're silly, as we're getting on the plane? So obviously I was out of tin foil and a quarter, so I could indulge her at least with the right foot stepping on the plane. Don't you flippin' know it? Every darn time now, I think of that girl and I step on the plane with my right foot.
But wait, okay, so you're bringing up something that's really interesting.
Well, thank you.
I'm glad I could acknowledge that. You know, it's not just airplanes. And by the way, you're reminding me that I fly so much over the course of my life. There are a lot of things that I actually do just automatically now to prepare to leave. But it's interesting how people have little somethings they do that makes them feel better or safe.
Like little jujus that you do, or ritualistic routines, I would say. Myself, not necessarily when I'm flying, but when I'm driving, if I ever go over a railroad track, I have to lift my feet up.
Yes.
And I believe if you keep your feet down, for some reason, like bad luck is going to find me somewhere. And if I accidentally ride with my feet over, like down over the railroad tracks, I have to go find another railroad tracks to like reset it.
Awesome. We're getting somewhere. But what if you're driving?
But listen, so you just go fast enough so your feet are up and you don't have to press the gas?
Yes. I perfected it.
This is awesome.
Yes.
This is why we do the show. This is why we do the show.
Okay, wait. So I'm learning a lot right now. What about you? What is your something that maybe you do to make your world feel safer or better or whatever?
Well, definitely prayer, but like little, I don't think I have anything.
Not driving. Like I see people signing themselves with planes. That I feel like is so normal. And some people clap when they land. Do you clap when you land? I'm not a clapper. I don't have the clap gene.
I'm so glad.
No.
But no, I have been on maybe a couple of flights where people clapped and there was a good reason. I've been really blessed that honestly, of all the probably hundreds of flights I've been on, you know, there's only been a couple that really rocked and rolled and, you know, we were like, okay, this is good. We're back.
What about where?
Oh, I thought of something I do.
Okay.
So,
Jakki. Yes.
I have this app called happycolor. Have you guys heard of it? So I used to be into adult coloring books where like you sit and I have my color pencil, but now I have it on my phone. So I download a bunch of pictures before my flight and I do happycolor and I'm just in La La Land. It's wonderful.
I love that. We should call them and get them to like.
Yeah. You can
So
sponsor them.
so it's on your phone.
It's
and
on
what,
my
you
phone.
color with your finger?
With my finger. It's
Well,
wonderful.
Oh my gosh.
I love that.
So
I'm
relaxing.
learning so much today.
Yeah.
I have issues with it. My friends kind of think they need to intervene on me in happycolor because they'll be like, Jakki, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm coloring.
I love that. What about the placement of the seat? What do you guys have to have as one like middle aisle window? Like
Never middle.
never middle.
Never middle.
Right.
Aisle. Aisle is my preference.
Yeah, me too. But depending on the flight and where my seat is, the window's nice. Like in business class, it's nice. I'll go do that. But I get really claustrophobic. And more importantly, I command a lot of space. It's like,
What do you have? How so?
I don't, you know, people that I don't know, you don't come close to me.
What do you do with the armrest for the person
Oh.
next to you?
If they invade my space
Mhm.
next to me, we have a little conversation.
For real?
Oh yeah.
What do you say to them?
please move your arm. You're in my space.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty matter of fact, Wendy. Please tell me what you mean.
It's like, you don't get to touch me. Only certain people get to touch me. And
But don't you think, I personally feel like it's an unwritten rule. If you have the middle seat, you can have both of them.
I don't mind that they
I feel
lean
like,
on
you know,
their
if you
armrest. I don't mind that they lean on their armrest. I'm saying
just don't
don't
lean.
do this. I
Yeah.
intentionally, so typically I'll have an aisle seat. So I just use my one armrest. I'm not asking to have two. I'm just saying, get out of my personal space.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, these people I'm sure we've all seen clips either on the news or on Facebook or YouTube where these people stick their feet up next to you. It's like, oh no.
It's awful.
No.
So
no.
I had a middle seat coming back from Indiana, and the air was not good, by the way. And so we pulled back from the gate, and they do what a lot of airlines do. They say, oh, we're going to pull back on time, because then I'm pretty sure then that means they can say they took off on time because
Right.
they left the gate. So that helps their stats. We're on to you. And then they go and sit on the tarmac. So this particular trip, we sat on the tarmac for 25 minutes. Now I'm 25 minutes, low air quality, and because it really doesn't get cool until you kind of get up there, right? So low air quality, and I'm in the middle seat. I will say that the people to the left and the right to me, lovely young men. And there are 20 priests on this flight.
So wait, how did you stick with a middle seat? Like, let's stop there. Like, why
Okay.
didn't you handle
So,
that? Like,
I used an app, and it inadvertently, and I wasn't paying attention. So I put Fort Wayne in the app. It somehow went Indianapolis, though they fly to Fort Wayne. So I'm doing this in a nanosecond. I'm not necessarily wearing my readers. And I did it right at the holiday in the middle of wrapping presents. And I was like, just do it. And I don't know, it toggled, and I called the airline. I explained it all. They didn't even charge me, because obviously it must be happening a little more than they want to acknowledge. However, what I didn't do is readjust the flight that she could get me on. It was like slim pickings, only middle seats. And it was 2.5 hours away from Indianapolis. So I had to take that flight or I wouldn't get home. So I'm sitting, so that's what happened. Normally I'm a window girl, because I don't get up. I don't need to use the restroom during flights. Like, I just lean. I've taken Dramamine, we've established. So like, I'm awesome to sit next to. Like, I'm a leaner. I think, I'm just happy my seatbelt can click and I don't need an extender.
ding, ding, ding.
Dude, I was to the point where I could have used an extender. That's how heavy I got. And pride-wise, I was like, I can't get an extender. And yet, I don't really think, for all of those people out there, I love you, because I don't think there's a lot of room with these seatbelts. So I would think majority of people really should be using extenders. And let's face it, there's more than I'm only 20 pounds away from needing an extender. So there's no heroes here. Like, I'm just being, I can't be the only one. I'm not.
Oh, you're not. Oh, you're not.
Verbally,
I am like, let me get this
I
up
walk through the
here.
airport and I see people much heavier than me. And unfortunately, then I know they're extenders.
Okay, so let's even talk about a little something else about those seatbelts. Really? Do you really think it's going to make a difference if we hit turbulence or, God forbid, something else? They're just a little something.
I know. They're tethered.
And it's like, what do you think's, it's like, okay, sure. It's going to keep me from sliding when we land.
Right.
That's okay. But it's like, fasten your seatbelts. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I need your advice. So I'm in the middle seat on the tarmac for 25 minutes. They're lovely, delicious looking young men, very polite. I didn't have weird thoughts. I was like, their moms are proud because these are two awesome. And they were like, anyway, they were cute and they kept to themselves. So to stretch out my back, I just did this. and I just like was laying forward. The guy in front of me, also a middle, jams back his seat, bangs me in the head. At first, it's not going because my head is there. Have you seen this head? Of course, your seat's not tilting back. So all of a sudden, he's doing this.
Oh.
So, and I'm now, I guess I fell asleep in this fetal downright head between my knees position. Very attractive, by the way. And finally, I get bonked on the head and I sit back, and he doesn't even just a little. He goes full throttle. I could have been like, you know, giving him a dental exam. Like he was right there. So what could I have done? And also, that is my space. If I pay for space, that's part of my space. Why do seats even tilt back anymore?
Well,
especially real quick, Spirit doesn't. Spirit, their seats have no cushion.
Oh.
And they don't tilt back.
Wow. You know, it's even interesting that the airlines seem to have followed suit with what Spirit originally did with charging you extra where you sit on the plane. I've never heard anything so friggin' ridiculous in all my life. And now when you know, now we've hit.
Oh, look at, she said friggin', by the way.
Well, it irritates me that now I have to make a ticket, buy a ticket, and then I have to determine how much extra I would like to buy, because either I want to sit in a different place, or and even in coach, you're having there, it's like we're starting to bump up. You want to sit in the front of the plane, you're going to get to pay a little extra. I mean, it's gotten pretty ridiculous. It's like, I want to fly. I think it's really great that now you have premium economy because you're trying to squeeze more people into the back of the bus. But at the same time, it's like, please don't do this. And I guess I haven't flown in a little while because instead of paying $25 a bag on this trip, I got to pay $30.
It's awesome.
And
to carry it on.
And then what?
To carry it on.
No, but
you have to pay for carry on and check.
Yes, I did see that. And I just think, oh my God, that's just way too silly. And it irritates me. It makes me not want to fly them. And so the nickel and diming.
What would you have said to the guy that tilted back?
Oh, I got off track.
Oh, no, you didn't. I mean, you did, yes. But that's the point of the show. It's called the Off Track, That Girl from Jersey show.
Oh, so yeah. I'm on track being off track.
You could be like a reoccurring guest. You're fitting in perfectly. Would you have said anything?
I don't think I would have said anything. I am known for my passive aggressiveness. So I probably
would have kicked it.
Would have just like put my knees up on it, you know, and like gotten comfortable that way, or, you know, kicked his seat a little bit. And then if he did decide to turn around and say something, then we would have a conversation.
Nice.
You know, I'm a big believer in talking. And I think talking in a lot of ways is becoming a lost art.
That's true.
People feel like they can do this and post pictures.
We could have said, what's your cell phone number? I'm going to text you a note. I'm going to text you how I feel about you putting your seat in my lap.
But I mean, I just talk to people. The reality is so many people are in their own heads, in their own lives. They're totally unconscious and aware of what they're even doing, you know, and most of the time I'm like, well, isn't this special? But there are moments where I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me? And, you know, I just speak up because first of all, it's who I am. Secondly, I'm not willing to sacrifice something for the sake of another human being that's like out to lunch. And I give people the benefit of the doubt that they don't realize. And truthfully, most people are okay. You know, they're like, oh, I didn't realize. I'm like, well, now you do.
And I admire that about you when you mentioned right away that if someone would invade your space, you'd speak up about it. Whereas I would just like smash myself against the other side of the plane, you know?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
But this,
I really think
that one's tricky because that is his space too.
Technically,
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know you were going to be laid over in the fetal position, Erin. So he's
well, but at the
tricky.
same
It's
time,
he's not so much invading her space. He's pushing his seat back.
It is the debate. I mean, he paid for the seat, and that's the functionality of the seat. So she's right. She's right.
she's right in that fact, but maybe if your chair wasn't going back the first time, perhaps turn around and check, see what's stopping it.
well, the other thing,
So maybe in the way it was delivered.
let's be reminded that the length of front to back space has been redesigned.
Mhm.
What used to be on airplanes, you used to have a little more space, and they've reconfigured so we're a little bit more compacted, especially in economy. And so, you know, and yes, technically you're correct, but it's a matter of, I mean, I feel for some of these people that are really large or they have really long legs and they haven't been able to get a seat that works for them. You know, every now and then, fortunately it doesn't happen too often, but somebody sits next to me and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
I know.
And it's like, just know this is my space and I claim it.
That is the worst. That is the absolute worst. So I have a love-hate with red eyes because I like a red eye because I will take an Advil PM and go to sleep and I'm fine and I can wake up and be functional. So I like a red eye because of that, but just the scents and the smells
Oh,
are
that's the other thing.
overwhelming and make me sick to
People who wear perfume or aftershave on a plane, you know, there are many of us. I'm one of them that's very, well, I'm sound sensitive and I'm also scent.
What is that, olfactory?
And
Verbiage.
and
Little SAT word there for you, folks.
Definition?
yeah, but it's like, and especially, and I'm entering that category soon because I'm much older than all of you. And it's like, when people get older, their senses start to diminish more, so they don't realize when they're pouring stuff on that other people are about ready to pass out.
Right.
Awesome.
And so yeah, for a little while I was waiting to board my flight, a woman sat next to me. I went, oh please God, don't let her be on the seat next to me. Yeah, people just don't realize. Again.
So I think we've learned here, if you feel something, say something. I did not say anything to the middle.
I know. So you didn't, Erin? Not even like
no, because
a witty jab, nothing?
No, because I honestly don't know how I feel where I stand with this argument. Because
it's tricky.
Point, he did pay for that, but so did I. And I honestly turned it to myself and went, you know what? Pay more attention. Of course, I went down on myself, but I was like, pay more attention, get the seat you want. Because if I was at the window and they did that, it wouldn't even have made this episode of That Girl from Jersey. It wouldn't have. Like, it's just because I was already miserable and that just added to my misery. But you know, if I could, you know, pay for the extra leg room, which again, I think is awful that we have to do that. But like, I added to my situation. And so I tried to, you know, plus there's something to be said by having to say, move your arm or don't be in my space. And then you're stuck with them for hours. And so for me, I'm so sensitive, and we all know I need everyone to like me. I'm getting better with it. But like, I need everyone to like me and everyone's happy. Very like, I don't try this at home, people, right? So to then say my piece and honor myself there, but then to be in my head because now I feel like I've offended somebody and I'm sitting next to the reminder of possible.
I know, that's the part. Like I could deal with this. It's just that they're still here. So Wendy, when you say something, aren't you like, but they're right here?
No, because
like
first
for the
of
next
all,
4 hours.
I'm like Madam Diplomacy. I don't say things with attitude. I really just, I just say, I would really appreciate if you could just move your elbow. Or whatever I say, I do it very nicely. I'm not going, get out of my space.
Yeah, no, I
that,
even saying it nicely, I would still feel like,
No, I don't. I don't, because I'm saying, I'm being very respectful. Just like you're saying, I have paid for this little space and it's mine. And, now if it's my sweet man and he's in my space, that might be different, well, maybe not, but no, it
Yeah.
would be,
Yeah.
it would be,
Yeah.
or even a good friend, but I guess you could have fun analyzing it, but people that I don't know, I'm very friendly. Anybody that knows me, I'm a hugger. I like touch, just not on airplanes, and especially with people I know. So, but no, I don't worry about it because I'll tell you why. I have spoken in a very respectful, kind way. And if they have attitude, it's not my business. It's not, if they're having an issue, well, it's their issue. There was a man one time, oh my God, it was so nasty. We were waiting for baggage to come down. And so I was just standing there, and I had my dog with me, and he was in a small crate. And so I was being a little protective that nobody, crunched my dog. And this man, I don't even remember anymore what he said, but he suddenly got poked in some way inside of him. And he's like, you're just so entitled. And I'm like, excuse me? I mean, he just started projectile vomiting on me. I mean, I hadn't even done anything. And I might have said something to his son saying, I just want you to know there's a dog right there. That might have been what I said. And man, this guy just went off on me. And, people like that, I'm like, whew, it was rough. And a woman next to me said, you did not do anything. And I said, I know, thank you. And, some people are just so unhappy on the inside. And I remember thinking to myself, I bet he's single. But I just don't take responsibility for somebody else's feelings and experience. Now, if it's people like you guys that maybe if there's a little glitch, I'd want to talk that through, and if somebody gets their pantyhose twisted up, I can't do anything about that. But that, in all honesty, when I've had to ask somebody, I've never felt like I've gotten attitude back ever. They just didn't.
So how'd you respond to that guy?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No. There are times that it's just best to let things be because he was looking for something.
Yeah.
Like having a bad day.
Oh, I think he's having a bad life.
Out. Yeah.
And it's like, really? He's one of those people that I thought, that's how he treats women or thinks about women. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have projectile vomited on another 6'3" somebody. Yeah,
That's a bully.
Yeah, he totally, so no, I don't feel like I have to be right or prove something. That's something like that. I just de-escalate, it's like, I'm not stepping into your arena.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of great ground today with travel. You're leaving tomorrow. You're leaving tonight. I think in the comments below, you guys will need to report back in with your travel successes or challenges.
No, it's true.
And let everyone in the studio audience know how you all fared on the flight home.
Yes.
It's true. So you're heading home tomorrow too?
Tonight.
No, tonight. I have a reverse red eye, but I'm with my 10-year-old son, so that is automatic middle seat. And,
It's
we'll
good.
be fine. We'll have our snacks, pillows, and
whatnot.
Happy color.
Well, everyone at home, thanks for watching. You know, we are always wanting people to join us. So if you guys are interested in logging in, like, and calling in remotely and being a part of the chat, send us a private message to any of us, and we'll give you the code and you can join us. So we love that. We're going to start doing these. We're recording these, obviously, and we're going to record them during the day, maybe sometimes at night. Eventually, we might do a few fun live ones, but that's down the road. So yeah, if you're interested in joining our panel, just get in touch with one of us. But in the meantime, I'm Erin Saxton, that girl from Jersey. On behalf of all of my friends and I, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.